Hey everyone, it's me, an annoying internet person that thinks the new Glup Shido show is really bad. I'm back. I wanted to talk about some crazy things that happened this week, and while there isn't a lot, there's a surprising amount of stories that set a pretty dangerous precedent for the industry, as well as some good ones. So let's get started. Firstly, Kotick got his personally appointed A-team together to award themselves some medals earlier this week. After multiple lawsuits and countless reports of workplace harassment, Activision thought to themselves, this couldn't be true, and sought to confirm these ideas themselves. In a June 16th SEC filing, this is what the board had to say about its misconduct allegations, saying, quote, contrary to many of the allegations, the board and its external advisors have determined that there is no evidence to suggest that Activision Blizzard senior executives ever intentionally ignored or attempted to downplay the instances of gender harassment that occurred and were reported, end quote. Curious. I specifically recall countless reports from employees talking about how terrible it was to work under the heads of the studio, and even Coca-Cola board member himself, Kotick. We really can't expect anything from this report, and going forward, we really can't see anything good coming out of this. And since we're already on the topic of the board of directors, Activision Blizzard had their annual shareholder meeting to openly discuss the allegations plaguing the company and the man in charge of it all. Among the short list of topics voted on at this meeting was the approval of a public harassment report. This would mean Activision Blizzard would now report on compensation data, the company's total number of sexual harassment settlements, its progress around more quickly resolving harassment and abuse complaints, and total pending complaints. According to other reports, Activision told their shareholders to vote against the report, adding, quote, the board believes that rather than diverting energy and resources toward creating yet another report, we should continue to directly respond to employee concerns. Regardless, the report was passed by the board, and since it is non-binding, that means that they don't have to follow through with the request. The company officially said they would, quote, consider it. Among this meeting was a chance for organizers at Blizzard to have an employee rep at the meeting, which was rejected with only 5% of shareholders saying yes to the proposal. This was an appointed person by Raven Software, hoping they could bring to light some of the issues plaguing the workers under the Activision Blizzard banner. Lastly, they decided to approve the re-election of none other than flight attendant threatening abuse cover-up frontman himself, Kotick, to another year at the company. In case you didn't know, corporations never, ever act in the interest of the employees and never will, and it's unrealistic to expect anything more from this terrible company. This is also including the fact that their meeting was only 20 minutes and no one had any questions. In other news, Blizzard released pre-orders for their new WoW expansion, which is worrying some players. Firstly, these pre-orders are terrible. They raise the prices of the expansion, block decent-looking transmogs, they're actually kind of ass, behind paywalls. This is nothing new. The thing that worries players is the announcement that this game will likely release, quote, before or on December 31st, 2022. This means the new expansion that has so much writing on it, you get it, because you get to fly on a dragon. Okay. Anyway, players are concerned because it looks like the timeline for development is very short, and some worry it might not be ready for launch. We'll just have to wait and see when it apparently releases, maybe this fall. In even more Activision Blizzard news, Diablo Immortal, in its first few weeks of launch, raked in $24 million. This is a large number, but remarkably lower than its mainline entry Diablo 3, which brought in $210 million in its first 24 hours, making it the fastest-selling PC game of all time. This game has done nothing but bring bad press to itself, from being one of, if not the lowest user-rated game on Metacritic, the lies about its gear progression, pay-to-win mechanics, to finding out you need to spend $100,000 to get good. I like the game. But after a while, it becomes incredibly unrewarding and tedious because the way to ultimately progress is to spend money, and there's no way around that. You might not have heard about this, but a few months back, YouTubers were noticing that their Destiny 2 videos were being DMCA striked. Bungie almost immediately responded by issuing an apology and saying this was not them, and they were actively investigating whoever was responsible. They even went as far as finding the IP address of the individual with Google's help. They also heavily criticized YouTube and how they handled DMCA strikes in general. As it turns out, it's a YouTuber named Lord Nazo seeking revenge for their videos being taken down a while ago. He would make a bunch of videos sharing Destiny 2 music, but these would constantly be taken down, and he was already flagged for copyright. He apparently created accounts and labeled himself as, quote, brand protection, end quote, for Destiny 2 and issuing 96 DMCA takedowns to tons of YouTubers. Boasted about his achievements on Discord, saying how easy it was to make a Gmail account and make these claims himself. On top of this, he was flagged as a cheater in Destiny 2, which is equal parts insane. Regardless, Bungie decided that they would be suing him for $7.6 million in damages. Good job, Bungie. Okay, so God himself, Yoshi P, decided to grace us with more information to Final Fantasy XVI's design philosophy and what we can expect from those amazing looking icon battles. Firstly, he clarified that it may look similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat, but overall, it's a new type of game and something wholly original. Adding new details on AA party members, saying each icon battle will be unique, using different mechanics and styles. Lastly, he mentioned that overall, it's not one open world, but many huge areas for people to explore, while using some ideas from other AAA open world titles. I was already excited, but oh my god, if that last trailer didn't raise my hype to levels unknown to me previously, I will be keeping up with this as more info comes out soon. Cory Balrog is teasing something related to God of War, but firstly, there was a moment there when everyone was sharing a rumor that God of War might not be releasing this fall at all. This was later disproven by Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier saying, quote, despite widespread rumors, Sony's God of War Ragnarok was not delayed to 2023, according to people familiar with the project. Video game development is turbulent, and the game could very well slip again, but as of this week, it's planned for November. On top of this, 2018 God of War director Cory Barlog was teasing some more info related to the game on social media, so who knows what might be announced soon, and apparently, according to prominent leaker Tom Henderson, we should be getting more information on June 30th. So Steam just announced their annual celebration for PC gamers around the world. The festivities include dumping your hard-earned cash on deeply discounted games and filling up your backlog beyond belief. I, for one, will be buying a lot of things that will not be played for months. I haven't made a name for this yet, so we're just gonna call this Panda Stuff, I guess. On other episodes, I'm going to talk about game releases, but since I'm going to be leaving for home this weekend, I thought I should make this one smaller than planned. Firstly, Fall Guys went free to play, and it's good. I only played this at launch, and I can tell that they have worked hard to continue to support this game. The free-to-play launch boosted the players as well, so I'm really excited to see what the future holds for this studio. Ayo, got myself a PS5 thanks to a homie, and dang, I love it! I grinded out that tech demo in PlayStation Celebration Astro's Playroom, and damn, it's so much fun. It shows how amazing that new controller is, as well as some really fun platforming that really connected with me. There's so much that I loved that I just got the Platinum Trophy right away. If you ever get a PS5, I highly recommend this one. I also got that Uncharted 4 remaster for the PS5. This baby, surprisingly, I didn't know this, runs at a smooth 120 FPS at 1080p. And wow, it's amazing. The game looks gorgeous. The gameplay is the best it's ever been. And the story so far, I'm only halfway done, is really, really good. Anyway, that's all from me. I'm going to get packing, but I hope you all have a great and fantastic weekend. Goodbye.